this is now definitely a good time for us to discuss something. And it is good that the 2 million player count is mentioned. Not just me. I'm not the only one who mentioned it because it came from IGN and other major sites supporting Assassin's Creed Shadows and its failure at launch. But Smash JT also uploaded something about this. Now, in case you guys haven't caught on, I've already uploaded my reaction to IGN's article about the 2 million player count, which for me, I believe is complete. It was for me, I believe is actually bullshit. This is the video right here. Assassin's Creed Shadow reached 2 million according to IGN, and I put a parentheses there, taking it with a grain of salt because I don't want to believe a single thing that they're saying about this. I don't want to believe a single thing that they're saying about this. Now, this is the QR code that you guys are going to be checking it out from. The link is right here if you guys can read it. But of course, if you cannot, you can always scan the QR code to actually check out the video for yourselves from Smash JT. And this video is called Ubisoft Lying About Assassin's Creed Shadows from Smash JT himself. I am already going to predict that he is going to say that Ubisoft is talking bullshit. They're lying about the numbers. And I did say that I'm taking the article from IGN with a grain of salt. Thank goodness JT also knows that that what Ubisoft is saying is also bullshit. So yes, we are going to react to this. We are going to keep farming this game to make sure that every piece of detail that we find wrong about Shadows gets called out, and we are going to keep making sure that if there is any game that comes out from a AAA publisher, it comes out with great success, and that there are going to be less patches to patch up the actual game, the actual big game that we're expecting a lot from. We expected a lot from Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Ubisoft did not deliver. They gave us the teasers. They gave us the features. But what happened? They did almost nothing to address it before launch. And now that we are seeing it after on launch and after, they're only going to put up emergency patches to make sure that the game is actually corrected accordingly. All because they wanted to test the waters and receive the middle fingers. They want to do that, and now they got it. They're pathetic. The integrity in the video game industry is falling apart. Because now, apparently, publishers don't know how to publish their own games with a great finish. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. I hate this. Well, let's see what Smash JT has to say about this now.
Ubisoft has announced that Assassin's Creed has surpassed 2 million players, which isn't sales at all, but apparently in the modern...
Yeah. That's what I've been saying on my latest video. Where is the sale? Where are the sales figures? Where are the sales figures? If they're going to tell us that there is a certain number of players already, where are the sales? Where are the subscription Where are the subscription sales figures? Where are the full buy sales? Where? They're not showing us yet. And they want to keep talking big. They want to keep talking big. Really. They want to keep hyping the fact that the player count matters more and not the sales. Bad bad judgment call. And there is already a is this already a suspicion that the only reason that they're saying this is that there are many who are subscribed to the subscription service and they're going to opt out. Maybe that's the actual reason. That's what I am predicting right now. Steam might have full buys, but as soon as it plateaus out again on the player count, that will be the very last time. That will be the very, very last time they would that Ubisoft would see a rise in player count. There was a surge in player count up to 60,000. We're not expecting that to actually be the last time, because Shadows is definitely the game that was expected after Valhalla and after Origins. Oh wait, Origins, right? If I'm correct. Yeah. So after 5 years, from 2020 or 2021 to 2025, for 5 years of development, it's been right there. But considering that the number of mistakes and the number of things wrong with this game, they could have at least polished it so much more. And they've given us horseshit. They've still given us horseshit. The AI, the actual historical figure placements that are supposedly destructible on launch. It's been patched out. They're now indestructible. No. That's not them correcting mistakes. That's them being insensitive from the start. Horse shit. They think that to make a game successful, it's always there. It doesn't matter what the means to an end is. No, that absolutely matters. How things are made. That absolutely matters. The absolute liars. Ubisoft. Absolute liars.
Gaming. I guess these companies don't care about if a game sells or not. They just want to let their investors know who's played it, because if they talked about the sales, it probably wouldn't look that good. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Ubisoft is trying to claim king of the hill when it comes to new game releases and their Assassin's Creed franchise. But in reality, what's actually happening, and people are seeing this for what it is they are trying their best to come up with an idea of moving these numbers around, manipulating the facts into the best way they can, so that when they present it to us, the end user, it sounds great, even if it's not. JT. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down how Ubisoft is trying to claim like everything is hunky-dory, when in reality, they are screwed. On launch day, Ubisoft had announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows had crossed over the 1 million player count barrier. And now, just another day later, Ubisoft is now going to the official Assassin's Creed X account, declaring that now they have 2 million players. But what is suspiciously missing from all of this is the actual tangible sales number figures that people are curious about.
Exactly.
And for some strange reason, Ubisoft is not providing any of that. On X, their official Assassin's Creed account said 2 million players. We're thrilled to celebrate this incredible milestone. Assassin's Creed Shadows has now surpassed the launches of AC Origins and Odyssey. Thank you for joining the journey in feudal Japan.
Hey, Ubisoft. Do you know how I'm going to react to that? Because you haven't actually shown the sales figures? This is my reaction. Show us the receipts, and I will listen to you. Otherwise, your asses are lying. Not going to believe a single word you say.
Hashtag Assassin's Creed Shadows with a screenshot image of 2 million players. Which, first off, when I read that, I'm just like, well, hold up. Did those other games even come out day one on Steam? Like, I think Odyssey may have, or Origins might have as well. But I feel like there's some specifics that are missing from this in order to paint Shadows in the best possible light. And then when you dive deeper, finding out how people are actually accessing this game, it brings up far more questions than answers as far as how much money Ubisoft is actually seeing.
Yes.
Instead of announcing units sold, Ubisoft instead decides to push the more ambiguous players engaged metric. Why? Because hard sales numbers obviously aren't looking nearly as impressive. We can gather from how Ubisoft has approached this entire PR situation that Shadows has not potentially even crossed 1 million purchases yet.
I've already predicted this, and I'm going to say my prediction again. The purchases are not 1 million. The purchases are based on subscriptions, and their sales are lacking. They're giving us bullshit. They're being deceptive on their marketing. They're being deceptive on the information that they're giving. They keep hyping up all the wrong information, and when it comes back to them, they will delete all the hype to make sure that every type of criticism gets shut down. Heck, I would not actually be surprised if multiple instances of my videos are copy strike just because. And okay, maybe I'm not a big enough creator for this, but let me tell you, big creators who are actually watching this shit happening will get noticed. And I'm predicting if Ubisoft is getting enough backlash that they're not going to receive a big amount of players from a certain plateau from a certain date, probably a few months now, they will start crashing out. They will start copy striking every video that criticizes them. Can you blame them? Absolutely yes. They did not address any of the issues that were called out before it was launched. And they will keep losing. Ubisoft, I'm talking to you now. You guys will keep losing because you never corrected anything before launch. You guys are absolutely cooked. You guys are absolutely cooked. I am sorry. I'm not on your side for this. I was never on your side.
Which is insane to say for an Assassin's Creed title. And if it did surpass 1 million sales, don't you think that's what they'd be leading with? Why would you bury the lead of the sales to say players engaged when nobody really cares about that, especially the investors? The answer is simple. Ubisoft Plus. Subscription services are becoming the new norm for struggling publishers. Ubisoft is quietly funneling players into their own Game Pass style model where they can access Shadows and even top tier editions with all the DLC and bells and whistles for cheaper than buying the actual game at full price at launch with all the additional DLC and other content. It's not that millions of people bought the game. No. Not even close. It's that many people are renting this game for a far less price for, we'll say, about 17 or 18 bucks a month, and most gamers will be canceling that after the first month, and you go back to the drawing board as wondering, all right, now how do we make money? Because we only made that tiny little bit when it initially launched, and now we're not getting anything residually from it. That's
Yeah. How stupid are these? How stupid is corporate right now? How stupid are they?
the big difference. And then in addition to Ubisoft Plus, you go into how they were actually giving this game away for free for people who were purchasing any qualifying Intel Core processors or Intel Arc graphic cards leading up to the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yeah, there's a good amount of people that didn't pay for this game at full price.
Yes.
That's not even counting the Steam players.
Yeah.
Is still struggling on the Steam DB charts where, yes, it...
Oh my god, it's going down again from my last update. Oh my god. It is not looking good. It keeps plateauing in an interval of hours, okay? I'm going to check it myself, okay? Give me a moment here. Oh my god. This is embarrassing. Every time there is an uptick, they take advantage of it. And I think I know why. Every time that there's an uptick, they're taking advantage of that lying to our faces and thinking it's going to remain. 60,086 is the peak, but that was 10 hours ago as of this time. Bravo, Ubisoft. Bravo. Bravo. You shot yourselves in the foot and you think you think you're winning. Not.
Surpassed 60,000 concurrent, so I owe Hypnotic $100. I lost my bet on this by a handful of people on the second full day and first weekend. They barely surpassed 60,000 concurrent players, which is absolutely embarrassing for the Assassin's Creed brand in general, but specifically for a massive launch that was available on Steam for day one. It is unheard of. But then digging deeper into the Steam charts, and you realize, oh, Steam has a very flexible return policy that allows you to return whatever game you want if you haven't played more than 2 hours of it. And from playing this game for about 6 to 7 hours so far myself, I can confidently state that, yeah, I could figure in the first 2 hours that this game really isn't for me, and if I had paid the full $70 for it, I would have potentially refunded my purchase. But this game was gifted to me, and I'm playing it for my viewers.
It was gift. Oh no. That just speaks to their cowardice, bro. They're gifting it for free for any creator that gets a lot of audience, a lot of audience traffic, especially when something is being talked about, when it comes to when it relates to them. But Smash JT is farming it and making sure to deliver shit accurately, and it goes against what Ubisoft is expecting. And they think it's gonna go their way entirely. Nope, it's not. It is not. Smash JT knows how to talk about games because he's in deep when it comes to integrity of games. And I salute this man. I salute this man. We need a light in the darkness, ladies and gentlemen, and gamers of the world. We need a good light in the darkness here. JT is delivering well.
So sure, I'll stick to it. But if I was just playing this game for the fun of it, I would have tapped out long ago. This kind of metric that they're going out there with 2 million plus players is designed to look flashy in a headline or a tweet, especially for the people who aren't paying any kind of attention. You know, the normies and the journos are going to scream from their rooftops, W! We win! We are owning the chuds with this game. But in reality, you're not. Like, it's just not. 2 million players is nothing to scoff at. It's a legit large amount of people. For an indie game, it would be incredible. For a game that was in development for 5+ years and over 3,000 employees working on it, for a company that's in billions of dollars worth of debt, yeah, no, 2 million players that have touched this game is not necessarily 2 million purchases. And even if it was 2 million purchases, it still would pale in comparison to what Ubisoft needs in order to guarantee their success for the future.
Exactly. It is not. It is never going to be enough. It is never going to be absolutely enough, and it spells bad. It spells bad news for Ubisoft entirely. I'll be back. I just needed to make sure that the audio comes out okay, because I just want to make sure that, well, even if it is suppressed okay, I just want to make sure that it comes out okay. Unfortunately, it's going back to mono. Obviously, the static is unbearable. I don't like it when the static is unbearable for others, especially. I'm just gonna check on a few things before I get it back into it because the noise suppression is no longer. I'm just making sure that things are looking okay here. All right. Because at the moment, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing much I can do when it comes to the static. Oh, but no. The noise suppression goes back. Obviously, there's nothing I can do about that thing. I just have to live with it. Nothing we can do about that thing. Back to it then.
In comparison to what Ubisoft needs in order to guarantee their success for the future. Not exactly the sign of record-breaking success, if you ask me. Follow the money. And the investors are not fooled by Ubisoft's wordplay. This whole players engage tactic isn't new either. We've seen it used before, as friend of the channel Hypnotic points out on X, that the reply to the Assassin's Creed UK account, Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws, Dragon Age the Veilguard, all tried to manipulate perception with similar messaging. And what happened? Massive layoffs, development hell, or a slow crawl to irrelevance. It all boils down to a PR strategy, not anything that's actually worth celebrating. But this is one of those situations where, yet again, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Ubisoft clearly needs Shadows to look like a win to everyone watching from the outside, especially after years of turmoil and declining investor confidence. They're doing everything they can within their power to warp the numbers in a way where it looks victorious, banking on hopeful good press to keep their sinking ship afloat. But when you actually compare this to breakout hits like Split Fiction, a game with an actual sales and fan momentum, Shadows falls well short. Then when you add in the size of the teams and the cost of the project, boy, it's not a pretty picture. Like, take for example, last night after my stream talking about the gaming news, gaming industry, I was going to be streaming Assassin's Creed Shadows. But I was like, well, first, let me get a palate cleanser and play some Yasuke Simulator, an indie title that was...
I knew he was going to bring up Yasuke Simulator. I knew. Goddamn independent gaming for the win. Independent freaking gaming for the win. You know why Yasuke Simulator was actually put around on Steam in the first place? The bad thing about Assassin's Creed Shadows is that they had to create a character who is not an assassin. Here's the thing. Odyssey and Valhalla at least balanced out when it comes to the player characters because they got the same abilities. But considering they put a character that's not an assassin but a warrior, it's just that is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous addition. Why put a character in there if it's not an assassin when the game is about assassins? Completely ridiculous, and it's no longer actually needed there in the first place. It no longer is supposed to be needed in the first place. See? This is why their shit is foolish enough. That is why their shit is so foolish enough. It didn't need to be this way, but they made it this way. And now we're really just laughing it out. We're just really laughing it out right here. And we are calling it as it is. We are just calling it as it is right now, folks. I'll be right back. For some reason, there is a 200 second delay, 249-second delay. 200-second flat delay on my Twitch because that got disconnected for a bit there, and then yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get back into it. Hey, you guys can actually do whatever you gotta do. I'm just gonna finish this.
Made by what seems to be one dude for going for like $3 on Steam as a joke. I ended up playing that game for the full almost 2 hours of runtime in the game until completion, beating it and having a fantastic time the entire time I was playing it, laughing it up with the chat, hysterical broken things in it that you know is coming from an indie game, so you're far more forgiving with it. But the gameplay was fun. The situations were ridiculous. The environments didn't fit what it was supposed to be. And that was...
Yeah. That's the good thing about this, apparently. When it comes to this, you can be far more forgiving if this were just for an indie game. You will not be forgiving if something as screwed up as a AAA game would actually be around. And yeah. You would absolutely see why.
Was the joke, and it landed perfectly in a weird way. Made me want to keep playing it just to see how ridiculous it would keep getting. And sure, clearly it's not a triple A title, supposedly a quadruple A if we're talking Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Shadows. But in its own way, I take a step back from Yasuke Simulator and comparing it directly to Assassin's Creed Shadows and saying, I honestly had more fun playing Yasuke Simulator than I do playing Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah.
Yasuke Simulator knows what it is. It's
Yes.
a game.
It's a parody.
Fun,
It's a parody from the beginning.
doing random crazy things the whole time.
Exactly.
The action is nonstop. Sure, the controls are terrible. The camera angle's broken. Half the images aren't even loaded in it. But it's super fun. And then you go over to Assassin's Creed Shadows and you have these overcomplicated menus, what feels like tacked on RPG elements, storylines that just drone on forever, and some of the worst voice acting I have ever heard in my entire life from any game I've ever played.
Look, if he's talking about the AI, if he is talking about the AI, it's understandable how Ubisoft had done it. The problem is that, yeah, I addressed this on my last video. The problem that I have with them using AI is that they don't make the AI refined and human-like upon edits. They have the profit. They have the profits. Why don't they use those profits to make those AI voices so much better that it actually fits as human-like inside? Why? Because they are cost cutting. Absolutely, they are cost cutting, and voice actors hate this part of why. This part is why they are quitting out, and this part is why they don't want their voices to be used, because their voices are used as dog shit. And that's why voice actors are not becoming available on Genshin Impact, because they're evading from their voices getting tracked and used, because the AI becomes something like this. This is a Western company, Ubisoft, not even Chinese, okay? And this is exactly why the voice acting industry is suffering a crisis, because of AI voices not being refined onto certain products, and it keeps remaining as dog shit. This is why the voice acting industry has a crisis, because companies like this who use AI voice acting are not even refining the voices. They don't want to because of the cost cutting. This is why not only the gaming industry is suffering, the industry of AAA and quad A, but as well as the voice acting industry. They are doing this to themselves, and they are doing this badly to the voice acting industry. And they're asking why the voice acting industry is in a crisis. Fuck them for their arrogance, for ignoring what the effects are of their decisions. They keep cost cutting and they keep asking themselves why. Fuck you, Ubisoft.
And you look over at an indie game, you're like, well, damn, they did this, and it's actually good. So I just thought it was curious when you compare the two. But regardless of that, the fact that Ubisoft had an entire team of over 3,000 people and 2+ hours of a credits roll to go through to get through all these people just for a game that feels like a lot of bloat at the end of it isn't necessarily a very enticing option when there's so many other games out there, up to and including older Assassin's Creed games that are, by all accounts, so much better than Shadows for a fraction of the price.
Exactly.
popular all they want because a million people had rented it. Calling it a hit is like calling a fast food burger a gourmet when it's sold billions. Numbers don't taste great though. It might get a lot of traffic, but nobody's actually taking it home. Unless Ubisoft drops actual real sales numbers, this 2 million player stat that they're pushing out is just noise, smoke, and mirrors. And honestly, anybody who's anybody in the know right now is not falling for it. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Smash JT. Smash JT.
I like it when Smash JT really delivers when it comes to the realness of things. And thank God I am definitely seeing the good thing about this. And let me tell you, Ubisoft is not, they're not doing themselves any favors by lying. And at the same time, they're not doing themselves any favors by cost cutting. It is making them suffer. They don't learn from the mistakes of other companies that did it. And now they're suffering the consequences of repeating those mistakes. Fuck you, Ubisoft. And you ask yourselves why your sales are not as good. You keep asking yourselves. You keep asking yourselves, and you get it from me. You get it from Smash JT. You know where to look, but you don't want to look because it would make you always smiling in your own echo chamber, smiling in your own rooms, that you don't want to think outside the box and look into other people's perspectives as to why things are becoming the way they are right now. And you ask yourselves, Ubisoft, you ask yourselves, why should it matter? Because of this incident, because of the number of incidences in which it makes your games dog shit, that it makes the integrity of your firm dog shit too. And you keep asking yourselves, still in the arrogance, do you want us to spell it out to you? Do you want creators as big as Smash JT to spell it out to you? You guys are horrible. And I'm going to say it again. You guys are just horrible. You guys have nothing to do. You guys just have nothing to do but always be horrible. And it's just making me laugh like a lot. I have nothing else to say about it. Ubisoft, you guys are just gonna go to hell. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it anymore. You guys are just going to hell. You're not going anywhere else after your entire company goes up and becomes only smolders and ash. You will just not go anywhere else. You're not gonna go anywhere else. And that's my buck.